morning, everyone. I think after all these beautiful spring days we've had, Mother Nature's actually given us a day where it's actually desirable to stay in and kind of hunker down and cocoon a little bit. It's cold and rainy, so I'm glad you've joined me for chair yoga this morning. Just find a nice, comfortable, sturdy chair without arms preferably. And if you have a yoga block, we're going to use it today. We're going to try to do some chair-supported kneeling lunges. Anything will work that's probably 3 or 4 inches thick, because we're just going to, when we do the kneeling lunge, depending on how tall your chair is, you want to be able to put something under your leg to be able to have that leg supported. So just giving you that little intro piece there. And with that, let's just sit up nice and tall. Root the sit bones into the chair and just turn your palms up into a position of receiving. And we're just going to start with some breathing in and out. Close your eyes. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Breathe in and out. Notice how the collarbones and the breastbone gently rise with the inhale. And then just try to, with each out breath, try to keep that little lift, sustain that little lift. So we just get a natural rising of that whole upper body, the shoulder girdle, all of that. There's a difference between sitting tall yet staying relaxed and sitting tall and being really rigid and tense. You want to sit tall yet be relaxed. And let's just go ahead and create a little bit of a narrowing of our throat on the exhale. A little breath of fire. And as you continue to breathe, another benefit of this breath of fire, that little constriction, is that it creates some resistance for your lungs to work against as you exhale. Just soften your facial features, your eyebrows, your jaw, the skin on your face. Soften your neck and throat. Soften your shoulders. Let's take one more full deep breath. Exhale. Bring the hands into heart center. Thumbs are touching the side. Inside of your thumbs are touching your breastbone. And just feel the energy of one hand against the other, fingertips to fingertips, palm to palm. And just feeling that flesh against flesh, that human connection, even if it's with ourselves right now. That's one thing that we've lost a little bit with this current situation, is that human connection. Just interlace the fingers, press the hands away, around the shoulders. Anchor your feet like you're trying to pull them towards your chair. And then squeeze the shoulders toward the ears as you stretch upward. Tip toward one side. Tip to the other side. And again, just a nice, gentle, flowing practice this morning. So go ahead and I've got my right hand on the chair. I'm just getting some extra support here and leaning a little farther to that right side. Just holding that and breathing and feeling the expansion into my left side of my rib cage. And just bring that hand down. We're going to go to the other side. Leaning, holding, and breathing. And bring that hand down. Let's bring the hands back into heart center. Interlace the fingers. Press them out again, rounding the shoulders, lifting up. This time we're going to twist, first to the right side. And then bring your hands up and over and twist to the other side. Let's take it up and over again for a little hold while you still breathe. Do that one more time to the other side. Just breathe in and out. Come to center. And we're going to take our hands out and then turn our hands over where our thumbs are down and just put our hands together. And just do a little press here. Switch your top hand. Everybody always defaults to one hand on top of the other, just out of habit. So when you switch, it should feel a little strange. And then take it all the way back and just press your hands towards center. If your arms hit the chair, that's fine. And come into the front, cross your arms, give yourself a hug. Again, that touch, that human connection is still important, even if we have to limit our connection with other people. All right, remember what arm's on top. And then we're going to open those arms again and just reach back. My forearm's actually hitting the chair back here. I'm not trying to grab it with my hands. And then we're going to cross those arms again. Give yourself a hug, maybe turn a little bit, just feel that. Bring the hands to the thighs, and let's just slowly circle the torso. Rocking motions have comforted most of us since infancy, so it again connects with something very deep and very primal within us. It's a way of helping us feel secure and safe. Let's go the other way. Come to center. Let's go ahead and pick up a leg. We're just moving right down the body. Same thing here, just working that leg gently in a circle. We'll go 3 or 4 times each way. At your own speed. Make sure you reverse after a few rotations so we get both directions equally. And then we'll switch sides. Again, just keep your awareness now within your body, your bones, your muscles, your joints, and your breath. Our brains are kind of overloaded, not knowing what to do next, so I'm just going to step away from all that noise and find a quiet place within. All right, let's go ahead. We're just going to extend the right leg out and lift up. And just reach down nice and slow. Lift up. So keep a little bit of support on that other leg. And again, exhale and reach down. Inhale and lift up. Let's do 2 more on this side. Last one. Bring that leg in and we'll switch sides. Same arm, same leg. Reach up with the same arm and just extend out. You don't have to touch your toes, just go as far as you can comfortably. We're not going for any extreme stretches right now. We're just trying to get things moving and get it warmed up a little bit. Let's do it one more time. And then bring both hands up. We're going to reach all the way down, just literally brush the floor with our fingertips and our hands and lift up. And again, take it down. As you're lifting up, gently press your feet into the floor. That gives you a little bit of leverage to literally pull against as your body is going up. Upper torso is reaching up. Let's do that one more time. Let's make a pointer with our index fingers. Bend the elbows. Try to connect with the back of the head. So push your head into your hands, and that's going to make your neck be a little more erect. Just feel that. And then press the hands back up. Bring the hands down by your side, and we're going to go ahead and turn to one side. So I'm going to turn to the side here. And this is where you might need the book or the block under your knee. But we're going to go ahead and start out with just lifting up, facing sideways. The arm that's closest to the back of the chair is just going to hang on to that chair, and we're going to literally lean into that chair. Bring that hand back up. Now we grab this leg, guide it down into a supported kneeling lunge. Now my legs happen to be long enough where I don't need the block and I can still keep my hips even. If you feel like that hip's really shifting downward, that's going to tell you if you need something under that leg. So the same hand that the leg is down, lifts up, lower down. And again, inhale, lift up. Exhale on the way down. Let's reach up with both arms now. And the nice thing about this is even if you do have a knee down on the floor, it's not putting the same weight on your knee as it would without the chair. So this makes this a little bit more accessible for a lot of us. Pull your hands into heart center. And then turn toward the front of the chair. So this is where you go here, and we're going to reach our arms out. So this is like a kneeling warrior two. Let's bring the hands back in. Come back to center. Lift up. So you feel that whole rib cage lifting up with those arms. Still feeling the sit bones, especially the one that's closest to the back of the chair, rooting down. Pull your hands into heart center, and we're going to turn toward the back of the chair and hang on to it. The hand that's on the front of the chair pulls, the one on the back pushes. So do that little supported twist. Make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up towards your ears. And release. So we are going to come to a chair-supported lunge. You might need to move your block onto the seat of the chair, like so, and just hold that. If you're more comfortable staying in that kneeling lunge, by all means do so. Lift up one arm if you feel stable enough to do so. Bring that hand down. We're going to get ready to switch to the other side, so relax, get that block out of the way. Bring that leg around, and we're just going to walk ourselves around and and set up on the other side. So kneeling lunge with the chair. Bring that leg down. Hips are squared up as much as possible. Support yourself with the back of the chair, and then the other hand just lifts up on the inhale, lowers down on the exhale. And connecting that movement with your breath. Activating your parasympathetic nervous system, the calming side of your nervous system. Our fight or flight system's getting plenty of action right now. We need to balance it out. Lift up both arms. Let's pull the hands in the heart center. So turn toward this leg that's down. Reach out, so it's a suspended kneeling warrior two. So you do have to engage your core to hold this. Let's bring the hands back into heart center. Lift up. Pull it in. We're going to turn toward the back of the chair now. Front hand pulls, back hand pushes, shoulders relax. And breathe into this twisted torso. Feel that stretch of your transverse abdominis muscles, the ones, the deepest layer of abdominals. Also the muscles between your rib cage. This is also another way of breathing against resistance. Might potentially strengthen your lungs, your breathing muscles. And relax. So we're going to do that lunge again. A block under your leg if you need it. Completely optional. If you feel better keeping that knee down, do so. If you can reach up. Again, take this as far as you can. Number one rule, if you would call it, with any of these classes, or any class I teach actually, is to do what's best for your body today. So bring that hand down. And take that block out. Lower down. All right. So we're going to go ahead and come back to center and open both legs out. So have your toes pulling up. And just make sure you're not so far to the front of the chair that you're going to, tip off of it here. So we're just going to lift up. Hook the thumbs. So be like a wide-legged stance. We're just seated. So everything we do pretty much in these chair classes has a connection to, yoga, traditional yoga, asanas and poses. But the chair is a nice tool for support. And actually sometimes it's almost more conducive to good alignment on the chair, using the chair, than without it. All right. Bring your arms down to the sides. We're going to reach down one leg and stretch to that side. And come up. Same thing on the other side, just back and forth. So we're trying to open up the groins a little bit today. And just find that gentle flow. We'll do one more on each side. All right, let's go ahead and bring those legs together. And we're going to stand up and turn our chair around. So you've got the seat of the chair facing you. And we're just going to do some forward folds, but support ourselves. Also some downward dogs and warriors using the chair as support. So my toes are about 8 inches behind this front of the seat of the chair. So let's just start with some heart sun circles. Pull your hands down the midline, moving with your breath. do that 2 more times. And just pull your hands into heart center and feel all 4 corners of both feet. Your big toe mound, small toe mound, inner heel and outer heel. Lift your toes and feel your arches engage, and the lower leg muscles start to engage as well. And then just carry that energy up your legs till you feel like it's coming up to your hips. And then try to relax the back of your pelvis and gently elevate the front of your pelvis or where your pubic bone is. So we're going to take the hands back up that midline, come into a forward fold, use the chair for support. So we just flatten the back and look forward, and then go ahead and walk our feet back into a chair supported lunge. You decide how far back to walk your feet. So you're pulling your belly towards your spine and trying to keep your rear end aligned with your legs and your torso. And then we're just going to pull those hips back, reach away from the hands, sit bones reach away from the hands, and let the head come in between the arms and the shoulders. So the spine is doing the same thing here as it would be doing with downward dog. We're just more horizontal than we would be with downward dog. And then we're going to start to shift forward and step your left foot forward and then lift up into Warrior One. So my shin is actually touching the front of the chair just as a landmark or a locator. No support here. Exhale, bring your hands down. Get that support back. Step back into plank. We'll check in with our shoulders this time. Kind of wiggle your shoulder blades around. Feel like you're anchoring the shoulder blades against the upper back rib cage. On your next exhale, go ahead and draw your hips back. Chair supported dog. And then we're going to step forward with the other foot. Now it's my right foot. Find that chair, lift up. Exhale, bring your hands down. Pull your feet back, come to that flat back again. And what we're going to do here is come up to standing. What you want to do is root your feet into the ground, engage your core, have a little tiny bend in your knees, and we're just going to squeeze our rear end and literally unfold at the hips. This is like coming out of a deadlift. Open the shoulders, elbow creases roll to the front, and that rolls your thumbs out. A lot of times when we say open the shoulders, the first action is to roll the thumbs out, and it doesn't really open them up the same way. Think about doing it from the top down. What's happening up here, not what's happening down here. Let's take one big breath in. We're going to fold forward again. Repeat that on the other side. Flat back. Step back into plank. So the key is anytime you're in a plank, especially if you were really going to lower down to a mat, is to stabilize your shoulders and your core. So that's where engaging your belly muscles and anchoring those shoulder blades towards your back ribs, that's where that comes into play. And sometimes it's easier to practice that when we don't have as much weight on those body parts. Let's go ahead and pull the hips back. What I mean by that is having the front end of your body elevated takes weight off your core and your shoulders. All right. So I'm going to step that right leg forward again. Lift up. Let's make that pointer finger with our index fingers this time. Try to look straight ahead. Bend your elbows. See if you can connect your hands, the side of your hands to your head. Hopefully you're still lightly touching that chair just to give yourself a little extra grounding, a little extra support. Press the hands back up. On an exhale, bring the hands back down to the seat of the chair. And we'll step back into our chair supported plank. You can always just stay with that flat back if that feels better for your body. And then draw those hips back. Really feel a good lengthening of your spine and stretch of your shoulders each time. And then we're going to step that left foot forward. Inhale, lift up. Make a pointer with the index fingers. Bend the elbows and just push your head into your hands. Notice how that engages the erector muscles, the little tiny muscles that run up the spine along the neck. All right, press it up. Exhale down. We're going to come to that plank one more time. Breathe. Try to hold this a little longer if you can. Pull the hips back one more time. And then we're going to walk our feet back up to the edge of the chair. Come back to Tadasana or mountain pose. Heart sun circles. So again, feeling that strong connection with your feet into the ground. Root through those feet. Your legs are your solid foundation. Your spine and your arms stretch and reach upward. And do that one more time. So we're going to come to a wide-legged forward fold, again using the chair. So bend forward, find that chair, and just step your feet to the outside edges of the mat. Unless you're on a really slippery floor, you should be fine with this. Flat back, and all we're going to do is just try to lower to our forearms. Again, let your body be your guide, or even placing your head on the seat of the chair. The action of placing your forehead on something solid, whether it's the chair or if you're facing the wall and just let your head rest on the wall. Again, that's a type of grounding and can have a calming effect on your nervous system. And then press up. All right. So we're going to finish the standing set. We're just going to turn our right toe out and just do a little hip shift to that side. Again, stretching this opposite inner thigh, groin area. Come across, switch to the other side. Come back to center. Let's walk those feet in. We're going to turn that chair back around and sit back down. And again, if you have a block or something you can just put between your feet, it's roughly 10 to 12 inches wide. So it creates a spacer. And we're just going to squeeze into that. Engage again that lower body, those legs. And we're going to lift up one arm at a time. And the other arm. And lower down. And down. Take it to the side this time. Lift it out to the side. Out to the side. Lower down. And lower down. Again to the front. Keep squeezing through those legs. Hopefully you're noticing how when those legs engage, it engages your lower belly as well, and it engages everything through here. Down to the side, out to the side. Bring it down and down. So we're going to add a little movement here. We're going to lift both arms up and just shift the entire shoulder girdle with our legs apart, or just spaced with some intention, I should say. All right. So let that left arm or that one arm come down. We're just going to pat ourselves on the back with this arm and just put this other hand behind our back. Now the hands can reach for each other as much as is comfortable. Just let your shoulders be your guide here, but really try to stay tall through the torso and press your head against that arm. Keeping the legs engaged against the spacer between your feet may help you sit up taller. We usually do this with our hips twisted and our legs crossed. All right, reach up, release, reach up. So bring this other arm down, bend that elbow like you're trying to pat yourself on the back. Hook that arm, reach behind your back. So this shoulder's going to have to reach back and open up. So your whole shoulder girdle tips. This side is higher, so it literally slants at an angle. And that's what we're after. We're still getting a little bit of a slant with our torso while our hips are squared up. Head pushes into the hand. Keep hugging that block. You may start to feel some fatigue in your legs. That's okay. Reach up and down. We're going to relax them and stretch them out here shortly. Now take your arms side and side. So bring this arm underneath, hands on the shoulders, or intertwine the forearms. So again, this is one where we traditionally, when we have the arms like this, we have the legs crossed. Right now they're not. So we can really breathe and focus on what's happening with the upper body and the shoulders. Let your head drop if that's comfortable as you squeeze your upper arms towards your chin. This should not be painful or feel like you're jamming your shoulder joints. Your goal is to feel a deep, strong stretch in your upper back and into the back of your neck. Open those arms up. Yeah, the other arm's going to be on the bottom. Again, this is an option if it's too tight to intertwine. We're all put together differently. We've also got different histories with our shoulders. You know, some of you have had some trauma to your shoulders, and we don't want to do anything now to awaken that trauma or deepen it. Let the chin drop if that feels good as you squeeze your upper arms towards your chin. So they try to work toward each other. Keep squeezing that block a little longer. And relax. And relax your legs now. And just take that out, and we are finished with that. So we're going to move on to stretching our hips now. Just kind of separated things out. So go ahead and cross that leg all the way over. Sit nice and tall, and you're just literally pulling on your leg as you're turning. And release from that. So we're going to slide this leg up now. So the knee opens out, and to deepen that rotation on that hip, you push down on the leg right inside the knee here, and you can also gently pull up on the foot. If you find yourself having to collapse and slouch, you're probably taking it too far. Again, everybody's hips are different. So we'll circle that ankle a few times. Just back and forth, whatever feels good. Notice if your shoulders are creeping towards your ears. That's the other part of a cold, rainy day, is when we're cold, I call it the turtle effect, where we try to pull our head into our shells. And then you get locked into that, and you don't even realize you're still doing it even after you've come in out of the cold. All right, so we're going to do a little kind of a foot massage today. Just again, a little touch, little stress relief. So we're using our thumbs, and we're just going to start at the ball of our foot. A little circular motion. Gradually work your way from the ball of the foot through the arch to the heel. And then we're going to move into the lower leg. Again, there's a lot of tension that resides there sometimes. And I call this my lobster claw. So we're just going to squeeze the thumb and the inside of the index finger. Squeeze down, starting at the lower leg, work your way into your calf. Notice if you have any tight spots. And then just work your way back down to your foot. And then we're just going to finish by stroking our foot today. Just glide your hand across the sole of your foot. Notice if you're feeling much or maybe not much at all. You can even bend the fingers and go more into the fingertips. And it's a reciprocal effect here. You're sensing your foot, the sole of your foot through your fingertips, and your foot's feeling your hand. So just does that. All right. Press the toes up. Actually pull with the other hand, just again as a good arch stretch. And then pull the foot. Try to lengthen that part right there. And uncross. All right. Let's cross that other leg over all the way. And just pull on it as we do a little bit of a supported twist. Again, every time we twist and continue to try to take deep breaths, that has that what I call stretching from the inside out effect. Come back to center. Pull that leg up. Gently push into the inside of the knee or just above the knee on the inner thigh. You can also gently press up through that foot. Be guided by what you feel in that hip. Don't worry about trying to look like what you're seeing on your computer or your phone. Connect with what your body is feeling and telling you it needs. And then release. We're going to do our little foot massage here. So with the thumbs starting at the ball of the foot, that circular motion, and you decide how much pressure to put on that. Roll it back, work your way back and forth. And then we're going to move to the lower leg with the lobster claw. And just squeeze, work your way up the leg. Lower it down or scoot, move back down. Just and then just stroke the sole of your foot with your fingertips. First, with just the flat edge of your fingertips the first couple of times, and then bend the fingers and go with the ends. Just notice what you're feeling. And then we'll finish by pulling the toes. Stretch the arch. And then pull on the foot right across the top of the foot. And relax, uncross. And we're just going to finish with some wrist therapy. Put the edges of your thumbs together, fingers flared. Roll the hands through. Roll across the heel of your hand. So we literally are working our way out to our most extreme parts of our bodies, our extremities, our fingers and our toes, hands and feet here at the end. Reverse that. We come back to that position we had early on with the thumbs down. And we're going to go ahead and take it one step further now. It's called lotus flower opening. So you start to bend your elbows. It's hard, it may be hard to see this. Fold the hands through the space between the upper arms. Release the hands. Lift it up. Pull your hands down. Bring your hands into heart center. Reconnect the side of your thumb with your breastbone. Close your eyes and just return to the breath. Breathe in and out. Today's reading is from Judith Lasater, A Year of Living Your Yoga. The greatest strength we possess is the unwillingness to give up hope. Strength is not always obvious. When facing a challenge in your life, as we all are right now, sit down for 5 minutes sometime today and imagine that situation from a hopeful viewpoint. Then act as if that hope were an actuality. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay well, and stay warm.